been to several county commission meetings, and they don't want to hear it. I brought this to their attention. That's right. During the pandemic, in the very beginning of the pandemic, I was evicted, and my rent was paid in full. I went. I was put into an apartment by the St. Vincent de Paul Veteran Services, and the landlord failed to disclose that there were 60 code enforcement violations when I signed the lease. And within 2 weeks, I had the basement steps had collapsed, and I fell and broke my arm. And because the landlord got stuck with the bill, I got evicted. I went through about 6 months of retaliation, and everybody knew what was going on. The county commissioners, I contacted the Department of Health and the county commissioners and everyone about, excuse me, the apartment upstairs where I was living. The toilet was leaking into my kitchen sink. No one ever came by. No one ever came out. This is right at the beginning of the pandemic. No one ever came out and checked if I was okay. Nobody did anything. They sat by and watched that retaliation campaign go on and on and on. And finally, in December, the landlord filed for non-payment of rent. He held on to my December rent check for 30 days while he filed for non-payment of rent, and then mailed me my check back. So then I get on the HUD Bash program. The first place they put me into, I go, after about a year, they did a public housing authority did an annual inspection. The property failed, and the landlord failed to bring the property into compliance within 30 days. So the public housing, they based their portion of the rent. I kept my rent paid, and the landlord filed for non-payment of rent, eviction, and everybody knew. The county commissioners knew. Everybody knew. Public housing knew. Everybody knew I was getting ready to go to court for an unlawful eviction, where my rent, my portion of the rent was paid. Okay, that's federal regulation. The landlord not to ask for another penny more than the public housing approved amount. So they should have prevented that eviction. They knew it was unlawful, and they let me go in there anyways. So I don't know. This is happening to your voters. This is happening to your voter base in your district. This needs to stop. So whatever she can do to do that, that's what she needs to do. This is the law. She needs to make sure that the people in her district are following the law. And especially in these government programs, which is creating a danger. These people are creating a danger for your voters. Well, right now I go to county commission meetings, and at the 3-minute mark they shut me up. They don't want to hear it. They've got public speaking. I thought it was public speaking. It's not. They've got the rules set up so they can cover up their criminality. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of not being heard. I'm sick of this happening. I'm not going to put up with this. I've lost everything I've owned in the past 3 evictions I've gone through. The last one I would put out in the month of December of 2025, it was 19 degrees the day I got evicted. And I lived in my vehicle for about 90 days. And it was below freezing. They wouldn't even give me water. They wouldn't give me food. They wouldn't help me do a damn thing. And they're the ones that put me on the street. You know, uh, I've contacted Representative Blackshear 7 times. Never heard back from them. These are y'all's voters. This is your constituents. These are your voter base. And well, when families of veterans and excuse me, children are being thrown in the street unlawfully, that's a problem. It's a huge problem, and it's unlawful. No one is following the law. That's the most disturbing part. Somebody needs to step in there and say, hey, wait a minute. You guys are not following the law. You're not following your oath of office. Listen, Ohio Revised Code says it is unlawful for any retaliatory action by a landlord. That right there should stop it all. But they're not protecting. They're not protecting the landlords. I mean, protecting the tenants. They're letting them go through hell with these criminal landlords and not doing anything about it. Well, hearing me and doing something about it is a whole different ballpark. So, right. Alrighty. You do. That was a telephone call with Representative Tims finally calling.